everybody. And if you are a new viewer and you don't know where you're at, you have landed on Having Fun with J and J show every Friday at 12 noon Central Time. Got to make sure that's happening. We are so happy. We're extra happy today. Two things. We got an extra special guest, and we have been revamping. Last week was a challenging show. If you saw it, and you're like, holy moly. But we think we've got all the mice and the kinks and the dust bunnies and everything out. So we are ready to go. We started a little bit earlier today because we wanted to make
Yep.
sure that we could get
That's
y'all
my
live.
fault.
It's not
That's
your
my
fault.
fault. And I'm gonna run 1 minute. Hold on.
Uh-oh. She's leaving. She's leaving the show. See, this is what happens. So I can't introduce Darius yet because, oh my gosh.
I wanted to confirm we are live on TV.
Oh, that's what she was checking because we're live on. Guess what, guys?
TV. Woohoo!
Woo, woo. So we are ready to go. Is this
Yay!
our 31st show? What show are we on?
Yes, number 31, episode 31.
31. We have been with you 31 times, and we are so very happy to be with all of you again. We have just an amazing person, amazing man. I looked at his website. I looked at all of his stuff. He's got a lot going on. He's from Vegas, and Jeanette met him through a personal connection. His father introduced him to us, and we weren't going to see him for a while because we're pretty booked up until December. But as happens, things happen. The skies parted, and we were very blessed to have Darius Young with us today. The name of his business is Damari Arts and Marketplace. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what he does and what his business is. But I'm going to head over to Jeanette and let Jeanette take over. Go ahead, girl.
Hey, I don't want to take over. We're a partner here. So anyway, but yes, so Darius came to me from his father. As you all know, I am a veteran, and his father is a chaplain, and he heard my grievances, but he also heard my joy, and my joy brought his son here, and he referred his son, and I was so excited, and I knew it was meant to be. Things happen for a reason. I always say things happen for a reason, right? When God had his purpose and he just made this happen. So Darius, one of the first questions that I always ask our guest is, when did you first start your business? How did you get inspired to do your art?
Oh, so with art, for me, I've always had kind of the creative spirit, no pun intended. um, my original love was in music. So I was all writing, crafting, creating, performing music. But as I got more involved into the church and started to grow spiritually, the lifestyle just didn't set well with what I was doing. Like it didn't match up with who I was. And I needed somewhere to release that creative energy, right? So for me, God put it in my heart, try painting. So it was the new thing that I picked up. I started off doing it in my garage, watched a few YouTube videos on how to do it and what to do. And next thing you know, I'm doing 3 and 4 paintings a night.
Wow.
Next 2 years.
That
Yeah.
is amazing. You and I have that in common. I was in Kuwait when I started, and guess where I learned? Also YouTube. Who knew? I mean, and we each probably have our own style, right?
Right. If YouTube was a university, I'd be a doctor. Like,
I think it's
So
amazing how we've thought that we have to go to spend bazillions of dollars and go to a university and be taught in that manner. And the internet has opened it up to regular people who have so much information, right?
right.
Like
Mhm.
you're on YouTube and you're like, wow, and here's this guy that's living in this town or this town, and then plus you're like us, right, Jeanette, in the middle of the night. That's when we're inspired.
Mhm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like the magical creative time. Is that your best time?
Yeah, that's usually when it happens in the wee hours of the morning, I'd say, or night, somewhere between 11 o'clock to 4 a.m. I don't know why, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it always happens. So, what is the name of your business?
Yes. So the name of the business is Damari Enterprise LLC is our legal name. But we have two DBAs, one of which being Damari Arts, and then we have Damari Marketplace, which is the website that we use to sell everything.
Who came up with the name?
So actually, my parents did. It's a mixture between my name and my sister's name, Darius and Amari. Initially, it
Oh,
was going to be a restaurant that they didn't use it, so I,
Oh,
I,
we got a
I
chef
decided to.
who cooks.
My father.
oh,
Oh.
he was a chef in the military. Yeah, so he and my mother both worked in the food service industry for a number of years.
So did I.
she's a
Wow.
baker.
Oh wow. Okay. See, a lot in common. Nothing
Oh
happens.
wow.
Well, and we've talked about this before.
Intentionally.
Usually, creative people have. We just talked about it, Darius, when we came in. That you have, um, you go to different sections of your life and you explore different crafts or creative outlets, and sometimes one leads into another, and sometimes you try to marry the two. But we talked about a little bit because when I went to your website, I saw some different products in your art. So you want to talk a little bit about how you're putting those together?
Absolutely. So the world that I come from, I was a buyer or merchant, for some people would call us, for a number of years, and so that just kind of doesn't die. Art was the thing that I did for fun, but you also have to feed your family, right? Um, so after departing from the company that I was with for 25 years, uh, I decided to just take the talent that I had there and also apply it to the business. So yeah, so right now what we're doing is focusing on goods made by people from the U.S. made brands and services, and bring highlight to those. Because what I saw during the pandemic is there are a lot of people who are starting to make things, but not everyone knows how to bring a product to market or how to even structure the pricings of the product so that you can take it to retail. And so that's what we like to train and help people do. So we look for innovative and new brands as well as companies to help them develop their products and their brands.
Is this man a kindred spirit? Did we know him in a previous life? Can't hear you.
We lost you.
Lost you.
You're on mute.
Jeanette, can't hear you. Put your headset on. Nope. Oh, wait. Unmute your mic. There it is. You got to unplug yourself. Huh. Your your um your mic is off.
Yes, it's on mute. Yeah.
Unmute you. Yeah. Your mic is not connected.
There you
Now it
go.
is.
There you go.
There you go.
Always something. Always
Oh,
something. The devil's a liar. Always
and
something.
I know you had something good to say about what I just said. So repeat yourself, my dear.
I said that he actually took the words out of your mouth and it looks like he copied you verbatim because that's what
Yep.
she said.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
You two are, I'm like, I said it was meant to be. I said, oh
Yep.
my God, she's repeating what Jen said. It's a word
Yeah.
per word. That's who we are. It's like,
Look, that's how
You
the
know,
spirit
yep,
speaks.
I love it.
I was gonna say that's how the
I mean,
spirit works. He speaks to one person, he speaks to another. You just have to be obedient and listen when you hear it. Right. So what you're seeing is two obedient people.
Hmm.
gosh,
Yep,
Darius,
absolutely.
obedience. Lord, I don't know about that, but I'm working on it. But that's not one of my strong points. But um,
It's a
We're working
practice.
on it. We'll keep praying for her. It's a
The
practice.
story I told,
Um,
the story I
now,
used to tell is, I got in trouble when I went to I always was at the convent, but the nuns used to, and they were the Irish Sisters of Mercy. And I told a sister I wanted to be a nun. And she said, Jenny, my darling, I know you know the vow of poverty and chastity, but I don't think you're going to do very well with the vow of obedience. Now, poverty I knew, didn't understand what chastity was, and at that point, if I figured it out, that wouldn't have been in there either. But obedience, I've always had a problem with. But um, you're absolutely right. I would
TVG
say
rating.
I would say it was
TVG rating.
more, as
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, um, we do need to hear what's coming to us and how it's being presented, and we have to stay focused and disciplined.
Mhm.
So um, that's that's one of the hardest things to get an entrepreneur, what you're saying, to do, because they get rattled, they get despondent, they get full of despair. And Jeanette and I talked about this the other day. You can't listen to all the voices out there. You got the voice coming in here, right?
Mm.
And that's who you need to listen to, because he's not going to tell you wrong. He's going to tell you right. Um, but
Mm.
if you have, your gift is God given, your skill is God given. So why would you go outside and have someone tell you that your gift isn't any good? What do they know? They don't
Right.
know.
Right.
So it's what you're doing to try to help entrepreneurs, small business people market. It's the one thing they don't like to do.
Mm.
They don't like to sell their own products. They're all thinking they're going to get a big store to pick up their product. And it doesn't happen like that. And you
Mm.
actually don't want it to, because they're going to change your product. They're going to make it their product. And you're going to, all of your work, your intellectual and physical um, impetus to this product is going to disappear, and it's going to get made in China for bupkis.
Or
Am
even
I
worse,
right?
they're gonna make, yes, that is absolutely right. Or they're gonna make all the money and give you very little,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah, we
Mhm.
try to educate people and help them avoid those
Um.
traps.
Well, I noticed that also. You also have a title in your church, don't you?
I do. I have a lot of titles in the church actually. I'm the janitor, um, maintenance man. um, and
All
let me and just to be clear, that's at the home church in Florida. So and just I heard you say something earlier, small correction. So I'm not from Vegas. I'm actually so I was born in Gary, Indiana, but my father being military, we eventually landed in Jacksonville, Florida, and that's where I spent a lot of time. So and that's where we were active in the church. And that's so right now I'm in Las Vegas and I've been on vacation a little bit. We recently found a place to gather, but I haven't been as active as I was. Yeah, so the deacon,
Okay.
and that's my new life lesson. I'm sorry, I don't want to get sidetracked.
That's
Is
okay. Go ahead.
you
No,
can,
no, we're all about real. That's fine.
yeah. So just sharing. Moving from Vegas, from Florida to Las Vegas. In Jacksonville, I had an identity that I created, and everybody knows me, as a deacon, as the janitor, and as this church family man, etc. But then you move to a brand new city across the other side of the country where nobody knows your name. And as we were talking before about art itself being a life, as you grow, you have to re-identify, redefine, and decide who you are, right? Who do you become when nobody knows your accolades and achievements? So I say all to say that's where I am in life, redefining myself. Uh,
And it's weird to have that
Can
sense of
we?
freedom, though, isn't it? it's actually a sense of freedom where you have to make a decision. Like
Right.
when you're at your home base and your dad's there, your parents are there, your family and friends, and they all have this vision of you, and then you go to a new place. And so as you're going through that motion and that process, are you thinking, I'm what part of me is coming out here? Right?
Right. Right. Because then you have to start looking at yourself in the mirror. What parts do you need to get rid of?
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And what parts do
Mhm.
you want to
Can
get
we
rid
see
of?
some of your artwork?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can we see some of
Absolutely.
your artwork? I
I
would
will
love to see it.
move out of the way here.
So what's the medium, Darius? What are you using? Acrylic or
Yeah, so this is all acrylic paint. We do use different types of medium, Floetrol being one of them. I'm not sure who want to brand drop, but there are a couple there are a lot of them out there. Um, and it's a mixture of just different paints, and we like to add different textures. So
Bring it
some of
up.
them,
I think it's on that.
which
I
one?
think
Which
it's on
one do
a
you want to see?
platform. There it is. Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
start with
that
this
one.
one. So like we
Oh
like to
wow,
include
look.
different textures
Shiny.
so you can see and feel it, right? And it's shiny. So that is a resin coating. All of my first paintings will all
Mhm.
be pretty dull or pretty shiny or high gloss, but everything going forward will be
Mhm.
high resin coated, and that's just to
Right up your
protect
alley,
and
Jen.
preserve it.
That.
Gives it a little more life. And then the thing we
Mhm.
started doing even more recently
I
is
saw
doing
the
sets.
clocks.
So yes, everything will be 2 to 3 piece sets, but we have clocks included with the wall art, matching pieces.
Wow.
Now, do you do custom orders, or are you shying away from those?
No, so we are definitely planning on it again with the website that just launched. It has not been included, but in the next month it will be. We'll be able to take custom orders.
So the products that you have currently on your website, are some of those like you did the phone covers? Are those like drop ship, or you create the designs? Is that how they work?
So anything that is print, right? All of the stuff that is handmade, we ship from one of our warehouses. We have offices in Florida as well as Las Vegas, but all of the prints are print to demand. It's kind of our effort to help save the environment and not be so wasteful.
Because I do need to talk to you about that.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a conversation off camera, but because there's some things that I saw that I really liked. Look, everybody that's watching this, hopefully you're either an entrepreneur or you love entrepreneurs, or you have an entrepreneur in your house. If you're a true entrepreneur, you're always thinking of some. I could say it's an angle or however you want to say it, but you have one idea in your head and another one's going to come shooting in. I don't think there's a crafter or an artisan that we've ever met. And I'm sure Darius is the same thing. You see something and you're like, okay, how can I get that to work? I really like that. Or how can I apply that with my business?
Mhm.
So it's a very healthy thing, guys.
Right.
Don't judge. No.
No. The trick is just find
I'm
which
just
ones.
enjoying everything.
Right. Listen, I was gonna say the trick is you just focus on the ones that are in your heart, right? Which ones do you absolutely love to
Mm.
do, right? And focus on how do you marry them and make them work together. Sometimes it just doesn't work together, and you have to say no, right?
Yeah.
But when you can
So
make it work,
how are you holding the hats of being the creator as well as the CEO?
day by day. Um,
Prayer.
so the way it typically works out is being CEO during the day, and I am artist, creator at night.
Yep.
So I was
Are you
working
working
so.
with somebody? Do you have a partner, or do you have someone that you are
Yes.
collaborating?
I do have one other artist who's a college student here in Las Vegas. She's also my wife's cousin. She's our cousin, um, who will begin to showcase her art. My wife herself is now getting involved. as we expanded to other categories. So you may have saw one of the pictures. It was a little doll that she makes.
The little doll, she does the dolls.
Yes, so she does what we are calling heritage dolls.
They're they're just amazing. They're so just very cool.
Oh,
I don't
if
know if
she
you
does
saw
a Puerto Rican one, I want one. If she does a Puerto Rican one, I want one for real.
she
I want a Puerto
she
Rican
will
one.
she will absolutely do it. And the thing about those, again, trying to save the environment, it's all recycled material. So those are actual bottles or cans that have been recycled or repurposed for art.
Oh, I would
That's
love
just,
to see her dolls.
well, you got to
We're
look
gonna
at
have
this.
to bring her to the show.
Oh, absolutely. She'd love to do it. The other thing that she does is jewelry. So we are getting into crafting our own jewelry designs, but that's her project. I'll let her talk about that.
You see, it's a never ending craft ideas all the time. Did she know what she was getting into when like
Hmm.
she met you and she was planning on?
Probably not, but she's also very crafty herself.
Okay.
So that someone like that, I know. No, I did not know entirely. Uh, but again, when something is for you, it's for you. Nothing happens by accident, and here we are.
I
That's
And we're
I
right.
I totally get it.
Absolutely.
And I know there's days that you're thinking, what was I thinking? You know? And I do sometimes if I go into an office building and I see all those people and they're all doing their little jobs and stuff, and every job is important. Every job fits in for a reason or for a purpose. Um, I'm just not my husband always says, I always threaten, I'm gonna just go back. I'm just gonna go back and work for someone else. It's like, he goes, don't even make me laugh. He goes, you won't, you'll last 2 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I get it. I get it. I get it. But a true entrepreneur, you know, if you had to, right? If you had to put food on your plate and your kids' plates, we would do it. But, and I think he said something too, and I've talked to my son about this, who's an artist. Um, when he came out of art school, he wanted to be like a purist, you know, he wanted to be that whole type of, you know, I'm not in it for the money thing. And I said, dude, you have to feed yourself. You have a gift. God gave you a gift. Why would you spend your time in a warehouse if you have this gift? So we just have to find a way to market your gift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the story I tell him is the Michelangelo
He's a
story. You
great
know,
artist too.
yeah, Michelangelo did not like to paint. He was a sculptor, but he had like 12 kids. And every time the Pope kept coming back, he'd like offer him more money. And I'm sure Mrs. Michelangelo said, look, dude, you better start painting because we need the funds. And so, I mean, Mike, get up there. This is Steve Chapel. We need a good, you know, God to man thing. And it's history. But artists tend to get too into their own heads, and they forget if you've given a gift, we still have to feed our children. We have to maintain our life. So there's nothing wrong with making your living from that. And I'm so happy that you've gone this way because I think you're going to also help other people. Correct?
Yeah, totally. I sure hope
Mm.
so. What you just said, the whole thing is about balance, right? And if you can help teach people, I feel like it's something that I've learned to do, or I'm still learning. But if I can teach other people how to create that balance and you're not selling your soul just because you make a sale, right? But or
Right.
you don't have to, because on the flip side, that's what I don't want to bash corporate America, but corporate greed is a thing, right?
Yep.
So
Just
you
say
don't
it. Say it. Preach it. Preach it. Preach it.
you don't have to
Say
you don't
it.
have to sacrifice your true artistry to make a buck, right?
Right. Right.
Learn to meet in the middle.
But we have so many
And know your worth.
more opportunities now. If it's, you know, everything's got a you know, a yin and a yang, if you want to use that term. a bad and a good, and people decry the internet and say it does have some really bad things going on it, but it has some really marvelous things that, you know, we as entrepreneurs, we don't have a lot of money, we don't have um, trust funds where we can pull from that. And so it gives us opportunities, and entrepreneurs, small businesses have to start taking advantage of opportunities, and not in a bad way, but use them. YouTube, total, people are giving away free information, and you want to reciprocate back to them and give them back too. But it's the time. I think it's the time for small business. I truly do.
Yeah.
I think it's time for neighborhoods and communities and people to start. We don't need, as I tell Jeanette a lot, we don't need the whole market, right? We only need a little slim part of it to maintain a good business.
Right.
We just have to get people out of
Mm-hmm.
the big box mentality,
Right.
taking the kids to, the ginormous store and buy your tires and then go buy your milk at the same place.
Right.
I sometimes I look at my basket and I'm like, how do I go from buying paint and then I got my oranges in the same car? How does that work?
Right. And to your point, and on to that point, you start, because when you start doing that, and it's the big box mentality, you start sacrificing quality, and people
Yep.
don't know that the stuff that they're buying is absolute trash, right? So
Yep.
yes, I'd rather pay a little more and pay for quality that is going directly to a person who's like me, right? And
Yep.
we both can eat. So you and I think 100%. Like, why let the
Look,
CEOs?
I don't have a mic. I don't have a
Look at
mic,
that.
but here we don't have a mic here. Poof.
I know,
Hello.
Mike. It really is truly like that. We
Mhm.
have so many people, men, women, couples that are so just really gifted, and
Mhm.
their stuff is amazing, and people are so used to buying, junk and giving that as a gift. And I just want people to understand that, we used to keep things as kids because you were poor and you couldn't afford to get another one. So everything's just throw away. The kids throw away stuff. It's a mentality now that kids don't even want to keep stuff from their parents. They're like, I don't want that. It's old. I still have stuff from my grandparents, and I
Mm.
look at the workmanship and I'm
Hmm.
like,
Mhm.
where do you get that? You don't get that anywhere.
Well,
No,
it's about that time.
Oh, here
It's
she
about that
goes.
time. I know she's gonna.
Not yet.
It's
we're
about
killing
that
corporate
time.
greed.
Okay, here we go.
I know, right?
It is.
I know.
Oh my gosh! For the first time, Jenny and a guest get together and leave me. All right, all right, all right.
I know.
So,
We did. We were.
anyways, today's topic is the
Paris and
word
I
for
have
the
to have
day.
like. I'm telling you, we're meeting in Vegas. We're eating a lobster. You could come too, Jeanette, but we're be talking some business. You
That
coming?
was a given. You was gonna go without me? What?
Heck no.
How
I was
you
gonna.
gonna do that to me?
Heck no. Are you gonna eat lobster with us?
Look, I eat lobster. Lobster and me are best friends.
Okay. All right. These
All
these
right. So
suckers are big
here we go.
now. All right. I'm ready.
All right. Okay, the topic today is the unchanging love of God, if we haven't been speaking about that right now. For I am the Lord, I do not change. Malachi 3:6. Real love, God's love, is the same all the time. It never changes. It just is. No wonder when Moses asked God what he should say to the Israelis when they asked him who had sent him to Pharaoh on their behalf, God answered, I am. Exodus 3:13 and 14. 14. I am more than willing to admit that I have not yet arrived in this area of unconditional love, but I certainly want to learn it, and I believe you do too. As human beings, it seems we are ever changing. We just said that. We just change. We're constantly changing, and we must learn more to be stable. Deep, isn't it? So here it is. This is what I get from this. God is with you from the beginning, the middle, and the end. He don't change. We do. You see that? So what he is saying that no matter what you're thinking, and you can jump in anytime, Darius, but no matter what you're thinking, God is saying, I love you. You're my child, and I'm going to mold you. You might want this, but I'm going to take you here because this is where you're going to go, and this is how you're going to elevate. Because I love you and I already set that plan for you. You just don't know it yet.
Is that obedience?
You don't know it yet. So that's the word for today. That's
that is awesome.
Obedience?
No, see, obedience is when you know and do it. When he's doing it on your behalf.
That's you have to be obedient.
Yeah. What she's talking about is grace. That's when he's working on your behalf and you don't know it. It just happens.
I'm
still.
And it happens, and we're gonna get Jenny there.
I'm at the part where I don't like to bother God. I know. I'm just thinking, Lord, you got a lot of things on your plate right now. You got wars, you got famine, you got a really bad football season, but I'm good. So, and I know that's wrong, but it's a kid habit.
It's not, I'm not going to say that it's wrong because I understand the thought process 100. Let me ask this question. Do you have kids?
All right. So
I do. I have 3 kids. I have 2 grandkids.
Sometimes all you just want is a phone call from them, right?
This is true.
That's it. Just give them
I would call God.
That's it.
I would call God.
Ooh.
They just like to know that
I don't even know how to follow that one. I gotta get my phone out.
The nail on the head. Okay.
I need to go call my mom.
You get your phone.
He's gonna call his mom right now.
Start. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put our commercial on. Why don't you do it since you were successful at it? I'm gonna let you touch that button and just play that commercial.
All right, everybody. This is a Creative Spirit commercial. Y'all wanna sign up and hang out with us on our channel. Here we go. Darius, you brought us good luck. You brought it to the table.
You and wait a minute. I see somebody peeking on the side there. Who's that?
We have a special guest. You'll pop in and say hello. This is my daughter, Aurora.
Hi, baby. Oh, she's adorable. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Your daddy's on TV right now. Yeah, good. Your daddy's on TV right now. Yeah, that means you're on TV. You want to say shout out to anybody?
No, not right now. Give a thumbs up.
You give her an inch, they take a mile. I'm telling you.
Darius, give us your email. I mean your website page again. Your website address.
Yes. So the website is demarimarketplace.com. That is DEMARI marketplace.com. And you can email us at info@demarimarketplace.com.
Awesome. You guys got to go visit his.
Okay.
His
do you have a business phone number?
We do.
Yeah.
Now, please.
Okay.
Look, this is why I'm so ashamed because I admit I don't always know that number by heart.
Know it by heart? Okay, while you get your number, I'll share ours. Okay, artists and artisans and crafters alike, if you're interested in being on the having fun with J and being part of this beautiful network, Creative Spirit, you can call us at 813-314-7019. Leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Darius?
Yes, and the Damari's phone number is 725-221-3493. But for fastest response, email is best.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Always, I,
Yes, that's it.
I
Always.
don't want.
Okay,
I don't want to
Jenny.
go.
Well, we've come to the end of our show.
I don't
No,
want to
you
go.
have to go. Okay, we have to go. I know you
Thank
don't
you.
want to go. I know. I know. And Darius, it was a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you for being our guest and being part of the creative spirit. I look forward in working with you. He's going to be part of our network, and my heart is touched because I know this was God sent. So, with that being said, I'll let um Jenny again touch the button because she had good service, and go ahead and give and take us out with
Well, I'm gonna. I think
yes.
Darius wanted to say something to
I
everybody.
just
So
I just want to say thank you for having
Yes.
us. This has truly been a blessing. I love your spirit. You guys are awesome.
thank you, Darius. You brought so much.
Thanks.
So thank you. And we're off, guys. We got stuff happening. So keep watching. Go to the website.
Oh
Love
yes.
y'all. And
Yes.
you're gonna end it, right? I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna end it, right?
Yes, I end it.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Here we go. We're off.
Soundstripe.
Are we done?
Didn't want to go off. No.